Hey guys, so what I'd like to show you today is a quick review for multiplying decimals, and then do a lesson on how to multiply fractions with whole numbers, fractions, and how to multiply mixed numbers, so that those of you who want to try the challenge activity, you can go ahead and do that. Alright, so I'm going to flip my camera so that you can see my page. There we go. And you can see we are starting with our multiplying decimals review. So I have a couple notes written down that if you'd like to write down on your own, you can. Otherwise, just follow along with me. This review should help you with the ice cream shop math for this week. So in the notes, line up the digits using standard algorithm, not the place value. Remember, we only line up place value when we're adding and subtracting fractions. When we are multiplying fractions, you do not need to line up the place values. So for example, 0.08 or 0 and 800ths is less than 2 and 3/10, but it has more digits. So when you set it up in standard algorithm, you want to put 0.08 on top and 2.3 on the bottom, just like you would if you were lining up whole numbers in standard algorithm, and then you would just multiply it like normal. So 8 times 3, 24. Regroup your 2. 0 times 3 is 0, but you add the 2. 0 times 3 is 0. Okay, right now I'm not going to worry about my decimals. I'm going to come back and do that later. You still need, just like when we do our steps for standard algorithm, to put a 0 under the 4. And then continue multiplying. 2 times 8 is 16. And I'm going to regroup my 1, but I'm going to cross this 2 out so I don't get confused. So I did 2 times 8 is 16, so I'm going to regroup my 1 here. 0 times 2 is 0, then I'm going to add my 1, and 2 times 0 is 0. Now I can add these two rows of numbers together. 4 plus 0 is 4. 2 plus 6 is 8. 0 plus 1 is 1. And I just bring down that 0. Hopefully you remember how to place the decimal when we multiply. We're going to go back and count the numbers behind the decimal. So I have 2 numbers here, but you also have to count the numbers behind the decimal and the number below. I have 1 number behind the decimal here for a total of 3. 1, 2, 3. Start at the right of your number and move your decimal in 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay. You're going to follow those same steps no matter what you are multiplying. If you're multiplying a decimal and a whole number, a decimal and a decimal, you'll follow these same steps. All right. The next one I want to show you is for multiplying fractions and whole numbers, multiplying fractions and fractions, and multiplying mixed numbers. Okay. So for example, if we have a fraction like 1/4, and I want to multiply it times 3. Okay. The easiest way to do this is to turn your whole number into a fraction by putting a 1 in your denominator, because that doesn't change the value of the 3, and then you can multiply straight across like this. The nice thing about multiplying fractions is that you do not need common denominators. So I can go 1 times 3 equals 3, and 4 times 1 equals 4, and I see I got my answer 3/4. So 1/4 times 3 is 3/4. And it makes sense if I show that in an addition equation. It's the same as saying 1/4 3 times, so 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 would give me 3/4. Okay, so here's the multiplication, and here it is in repeated addition, so you guys can see it's the same thing. Multiplying fractions and fractions is very similar. So if I had 2/3 times, let's use 3/4 again, 3/4, you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to multiply straight across. So 2 times 3. 3 times 4 in your denominator. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. You would get 6/12, and then you would need to simplify that by using your greatest common factor. Your greatest common factor for 6 and 12 is 6. So I'm going to divide by 6, divide by 6. Sorry, that should be a 6, not a 16. Divide by 6. And you can see, I'm going to put the answer over here, sorry guys, that 6 divided by 6 is 1, and 12 divided by 6 is 2. So your final answer there is 1/2. So 2/3 times 3/4 is equal to 1/2. That's your simplified answer. All right, this is where it gets a little trickier. Multiplying mixed numbers. When I'm multiplying mixed numbers, say I had 1 and 1/3 times 2 and 2/5. Okay. We went over this in class, but I'm sure you need a refresher. You're going to turn each of these mixed numbers into improper fractions. That's what's going to make it easiest for you. So to do that, you're going to take your denominator and you're going to multiply it by the 1. So 3 times 1 equals 3. Then you're going to take that product and add it to your numerator. 3 plus 1 equals 4. So 1 and 1/3 is equivalent to 4/3. Okay, so your denominator stays the same, it stays 3. Times, you do the same thing to this fraction, 5 times 2, so my denominator times my whole number. 5 times 2 equals 10. And I take that product and I add it to my numerator, so 10 plus 2 equals 12. So I'll get 12/5. Again, your denominator stays the same. So 1 and 1/3 is equivalent to 4/3. 2 and 2/5 is equivalent to 12/5. And now I can multiply these. And go straight across like we did in the problems above. 4 times 12 is 48. 3 times 5 is 15. And as you know, this is an improper fraction. So now, finally, you go back. 15 is your, let me put it up here. Let me put it up here for you guys. 15 is your divisor. 48 is your dividend. How many groups of 15 can you take out of 48 without going over? I think it is 3, but let's double check. If you're not sure, always just double check your work. It should be 45. So 15 times 3, 5 times 3 is 15. We group by 1, that's 45. So I can take out 3 groups and I subtract 45. 8 minus 5 is 3. So my final answer, so my whole number is my number on the outside, my whole number, my quotient is my whole number, my remainder is my numerator, and my denominator stays 15, it's my divisor, so 3 and 3/15. And again, if you simplify this, 3 and 15 have 3 as their greatest common factor, so you would take 3/15 and you would divide by 3/3 to get 1/5, and your final answer is 3 and 1/5. Now I know this last part was a very quick run through of fraction multiplication. This is for students who want to try the fraction challenge. The fraction challenge game. You don't need a partner. You don't even need dice. When I was working out when I was doing the fraction game, I just used my phone. I looked up a dice roller, and I rolled both times and then multiplied my fractions together. So you don't need anything to play that game. You don't need a partner. You don't need the dice. If you have your iPad or a phone or something like that, you can improvise with the dice rolling. Okay. I would like you guys to give that a try and let me know how it goes, just to challenge yourself a little bit, because I think you're all going to blow through the ice cream decimal work this week. You guys are really good at decimals. All right, so give that a try. Let me know how it goes, and I will be seeing you guys soon. Take care.